Well, with everybody else almost canceled here recently, this may be the episode of the Cool Dad Rules where I'm actually canceled myself. It happens. You got to take that risk, right? This is the Cool Dad Rules. This is the Parenting Survival Podcast with Bill Adams. I am Bill Adams. Thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate that, for finding the podcast, sharing it along, emailing in to thecooldadrules@gmail.com. And boy, this whole cancel culture issue certainly has hit a hot button with you too, according to the emails I've gotten. And here's the thing. Let's get this out of the way right away. You may be in favor of this. It may be your thing. You may think some of the things that have been canceled here recently in many different fields completely justified. Or maybe like me, I think cancel culture is ridiculous. I think it's insane. Here's what's irrefutable. As parents, what are we, you and me, what are we to do? Because it is an issue. Here's the part that's not debatable. It's something at some point in your kid's life, in your family's life, it's going to come up. And how do we handle it? Let me give you an example of how I handle it. I mock it. I fight absurdity with absurdity every single chance I get. And I'll get into this more in a second here. Every chance to hammer home how ridiculous I think it is, the concept of erasing anything and everything that hurts your feelings or you decided was offensive, right? Whatever happened to debate? Honest debate, bringing things up. I mean, if you think about the things that you and I saw as kids, or even, we still see as adults now, things that were made in the 30s or 40s, and I said, whoa, that's a little much. That was a crazy time, huh? But I know for sure I can think of specific examples where in my own family or with my wife or somebody else or friends, it sparked some discussion about how the way things were compared to how they are now and where we're going in the future. With perspective, you can look at how things were in the past, and hopefully, if you do find it offensive or if it was clearly offensive, we won't make those mistakes again, right? Those who don't learn from the lessons of the past, doomed to repeat it. If I'm getting that right, isn't that the same old concept, right? Let me give you my philosophy in bringing up free-thinking individuals, which is one of my main goals with being a parent and having kids. The whole idea that I absolutely don't want. I have no interest in telling them what to think. I want them to be their own free-thinking, free will, free spirit individuals. But as a parent, and you know this too, better than anybody, it's our responsibility. I really want to teach them how to think, how to question everything that's out there, how to think critically, look at things from different angles, different perspectives, how somebody else would feel about this entire thing. And to me, this is where I'm coming from on this. As a parent, again, cancel culture is the opposite of that. It's the exact opposite of learning how to think because you never really got the chance yourself to figure out how you feel about the entire thing or share that idea or understand how things were and how far we've come or how far we haven't come or anything like that. That's why I think it's just sticks me and rubs me the wrong way, the entire cancel culture thing. And even that term is being overused now, but it actually is true. And I will tell you from my perspective with my kids, they never really made a connection with public figures or issues, the real newsy stuff that were the first victims of cancel culture, right? They didn't really make a connection because it's not their world. I would try to bring it up before, but, it's not really their thing. And I will tell you this, the younger your kids are, they're not going to make that connection either until they have a personal relationship with it somehow, whether it means something to them, right? And I will throw this out there too. I'll say it a couple of times. If your kids are really young and this is a concept over their heads, don't try to bombard them with the whole idea of cancel culture, what it means, what you can do about it. It's bad enough you and I have to deal with this. Really young kids, until they're affected by it, don't bother them with this issue, honestly. But later on, when this does become an issue, when they're influenced by it, when they're talking about it with their friends, when it does become a family discussion, that's where we have to step in as parents, right? We have to. It's our job. And I will tell you this too. You've heard me say this many times. There are influencers. This is my world. I know this. Trust me on this one. In social media, there are influencers who are pretty much paid a lot of money to try to influence them in a certain way to think. And it's not just about buying clothes or buying makeup or following a celebrity. It's about really how to think on some of these issues. That's where it gets into scary stuff. That's why critical thinking to me is so important. With mine anyway, like I said, the newsy issue-based stuff never really made a connection. They're teens. They're teen girls, right? Not that that's one thing or another. They may be interested in that. Mine weren't. The politician that had his event canceled because of complaints, try to bring it up, not really a connection. Some statues torn down because of what they represent, No, big issue in the news was all over the place. Didn't really affect them, so that wasn't really making a connection with them. But when the Dr. Seuss thing happened, watch out now. Now, again, I'll say this just to clarify this. You may be in complete agreement with taking away not publishing 6 of Dr. Seuss's books, whatever, what have you. Or you may be absolutely outraged by it, or you don't care. It doesn't matter. As parents, like I said, it is an issue now, so it is something we have to address, so we will. Now, why did this matter to my kids? Because they grew up with it. And I think this is why it's such a hot button issue. And this is with, ironically enough, oddly enough, with the Mr. Potato Head thing. All of a sudden, it's gone from like political events and politicians attacking each other and canceling each other out to cultural things. And it may seem like a toy, it may seem like a kid's book, but now you're getting into culture, which is why it's become such a hot button issue for so many different people. And with my kids, they grew up with the Dr. Seuss books, right? So now it's become like it got their attention. And then when the entire issue came up of taking away the if I ran the zoo section of the, that section of the theme park, I actually heard my younger one say, "That's so stupid." And that was the moment I knew I had them. I at least had their attention. Like I said, I don't want to give them my opinion. I want them to start to think about something. Now I can apply the absurdity of the entire situation. Like, here's another one. Amazon changing the logo on the app because people went looking for outrage and they thought they saw Hitler's mustache in it. Good Lord. They thought that was ridiculous too. But now at least they know what I mean. So, you know my style. I'm an obnoxious dad. This is how I teach things. I mock it. You know, we're sitting on the couch and they're saying, "Hey, I want to watch this show." I'll say, "Nope. Offends me. Canceled in this house. Can't watch that show. Forget about it." Or, I love this song. "Hey, did you hear this?" "No. It's offensive to somebody. Canceled in this house." Or we're playing a board game. "I want to go first. I have the green piece." "Nope." Why does green get priority? "Offensive. That's canceled." Yeah, they're pretty much sick of me. You guessed it right. They've had it with me. But the point is made. The point is getting across to them. And I think they're getting the understanding of at least when something is offensive, when something is out there, when something is just removed before you have a chance to even come up with an opinion on it, that's not right. That's not right when you don't have a chance to actually have free will and free spirit and understand exactly what your own perspective is on this, because you don't get a chance to understand somebody else's perspective on that too. So, can't cancel everything that offends you. You got to make up your own mind. And again, I will say this too. If they're too young, this is what I've found. Like really young, like preteen stuff, and they're not interested in any of these issues you're talking about, don't push it on them. I don't think it's even worth it because I don't think it's going to sink through. It's really not. But I mean, whatever happened to debate on this whole thing? You know, debate an issue, an idea, a this or that, something in the news that now it's just removed now. And now you don't even have a chance to kind of like hash out either way what you want to do with this kind of thing. And that's where I think the real danger is in the whole cancel culture thing is. So yeah, I'll mock it for sure. I'll do it because they know what my opinion is. But if I can do it in a humorous kind of way, I think I'm kind of getting through to them in one way or another. And I think I'm trying to get, at least some kind of an understanding of, here's how I feel about it. You can have your own opinion on this whole thing. You can. And that'll spark more discussion. And hopefully through that, and I found this with my own kids, and it may take some time for your kids to see this on their own. I found that that's led to them, I think, having more of a keen eye when they see social media things, and they can pick out more of the, agenda-driven news kinds of things. And they can kind of see where someone's trying to push an agenda on them or somebody else has a different perspective. And it's also, I will tell you this too, it's also gotten them to look a little bit deeper into some of the issues, some things that have been canceled or taken away before, some things they agree with, some things not. Some things you may agree with, some not. But I mean, canceling everything that you're offended by? Where's the discussion in that? Are we that close to burning books? I really hope not. I really not. And I know that with the Dr. Seuss thing, that came from the publisher where they decided on their own to protect his legacy and to keep it going forward here. They're going to, pull back some of these books here. But really, it could go way further than this. And I think that's the danger. And I think that's why so many people are upset about this cancel culture thing permeating into society so much and so often. There is a danger in that, where all of a sudden everything is taken away. You're not that far off. I mean, this has come a long way in just a couple of years, so. Cancel culture, not a fan. But I'm telling you, if you want to make that You're going to love the mocking thing. You're going to love it. It'll make a connection right away. I'm telling you, you'll drive them crazy. They'll be totally sick of you, but you're going to love it. Canceled in this house. I cancel you. Cancel everybody. They'll understand exactly what you mean, and they'll start to get the point too. All right. I really appreciate all the comments, all the questions, all the concerns, a lot on this. This is why I had to cover this cancel culture thing, because so many of you had written into the cooldadrules@gmail.com to cover this whole thing. What do I do? How do I talk about it? And that's what it's all about. There are no parenting experts. We say that all the time. It's you and me, parents, working this thing out together. Parenting survival. We'll figure out this parenting thing together. So it's thecooldadrules@gmail.com. Thank you, as always, for finding the podcast. We always appreciate that. Share it along. Facebook page as well. And we'll get a lot of answers in this whole thing together. Try the mocking culture thing, though. It's great. I love it. The kids are going to go bananas over this. They're going to be really mad at you, but it'll make the point. All right. We'll figure this parenting thing out together. And I'll talk to you soon.